Right. So we find myself back here, still in my hat, so fine. I have woken up my Netflix. That's actually like, I've been meaning to do that for, well, I don't know. I actually, when I moved in here, I was just kept meaning to do it, kept meaning to do it. It took me about 2 weeks to actually get round to putting the telly up on the wall. And I got it up on the wall. And it's been there ever since. Um, I think I tuned the Wi-Fi in about 3 months ago. It remembered all that. I didn't have to look for the Wi-Fi code. But my Netflix did involve going into my old email address and um, attempting my password and failing, and then having to go to my old email address and then recover it, and all the sort of shit that normally makes you go, oh, for fuck's sake, and having to put passwords in with the fucking click controller and go click, click, and just watching myself do it at a fucking special person's pace, basically. But I got it sorted, and I felt like a human being. I felt like a normal person that could do normal things, like watch telly. And I did watch telly. I've watched 3 episodes of Black Mirror. I remembered Black Mirror, I think, was the last thing I ever watched on Netflix when they'd updated one of them. And I think there's 5 seasons now. I think I'd seen 3 at the time. No. But it was a very distinct phase, and it sort of pretty much involved Netflix as well as all sorts of other telly. And it was a time I'd just gone home. I'd gone home from a really shit. It was that party in the park, and it was who was there? Grandmaster Flash or Jazzy B, one of them cunts, and one of them fucking cunts. You know what I mean? The Jackin Brigade, and yeah, just people who are into just fucking 70s soul funk disco funka boogie woogie loogie doogie shit, and it was pants in my world, so I fucked off. And I'd signed up for Netflix. And I remember saying, I think I posted on Facebook, I've just got Netflix, goodbye. And it literally was. It was kind of like it was one of those things that really made me worry about myself and how much I was isolating. But it was kind of, that was in the days where it was always, sorry, I'm busy, sorry, I'm busy, sorry, I'm busy, sorry, I'm busy, that was going on for ages everywhere I fucking looked. And again, it's like when you've lived through that, it's just a very real fucking thing all the time. And you know, everyone's got priorities, and I'm not one of them. It's just that simple. It's fine. But it's hurtful when you're going through that sort of shit. And then I know that, like, when Netflix came into my life, I fucking took a big backseat from life, and I think I slowly started to go insane because a lot of all of the shit I was carrying around about myself festered. It was festering. When I look back, I think the rot was definitely truly set in by then. Truly set in, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I wandered meekly like an innocent child through a life I thought I had. Yeah, fucking weird shit. This old hero head has been through. And yeah, it was like, it was always she's just pinged again. She did subscribe, and I've just messaged her and told her she read the message that I'd mentioning her. And I've just told her I'm gonna mention you again, and she's just reminded me to by pinging me halfway through this one. And she's totally fucking ruined what I was on about. Netflix, isolating, everyone's busy, lonely, fixing the television. Black Mirror. Oh, dum-de-dum. Where the flinking fuck was I? Oh, heaven's sake. Um, Well, anyway, I did actually manage, and like weirdly enough, it was like I was going to make a video about how sorted my Netflix out in between videos, because that's the sort of like attention span I've had. But then I got into watching Black Mirror, and for quite a few bits of it, I was in that world where I was just enjoying it, and I wasn't thinking about checking Facebook, or I wasn't, I don't even know if I was rocking or not. I don't know. Like, my feet are just twitching now. They often just like they just do. They like to sit and twitch. Just leave them alone, all right? They're not doing any harm. But yeah, for a while it was kind of like it was back in them days, and it was, you know, it is weird. It is weird. Like I said, the rock was setting in. That was it. The rock was setting in, and I just didn't know that's where I was. But in a lot of ways, though, I had a lot more about me back then. Like I was saying about my curiosities, that were like just wakening up this morning. But that used to be the way of it. It's like I would lie there, I'd have my guitar next to me, I'd have whatever it was, binge watching on Netflix. But I had my iPad next to me, and I would be reading constantly. I used to like often just hyper focus into things and just read about random shit on the internet. Something would get my interest and I would be off. And it's like, I was thinking then I was isolating, but in a lot of ways I was just satisfying a curiousness that isn't very interesting to a lot of people. I am quite a geek. I wouldn't, and never thought I would be a geek when I was like 16, 17. I thought it was pretty thick, because like school had taught me I was pretty thick, and I couldn't figure a lot of shit out even when I just sat and tried and all of that sort of shit. But I can get very, very interested on very, very geeky topics, and geeking's all right. Geeking's all right, but it's like it's not something I've done since moving in here. And yeah, when I did move in here, the piece of not televisualness was actually really nice. I was just like, it's nice not having a telly on. I used to have a telly on, and I thought that was my therapy. The telly was just sort of being on. That's another point I was going to make, was I used to have the guitar, I'd have the iPad as it was back in them days when I was an iPad stuff. But it was, I used it a lot. It was just literally the internet, and it was in a like Griffin case, one of those rubber cases, and it was just boff, ding, Facebook or Just Eat. But it was also a world of information, and like I did a lot of my fucking uni study with that thing. I had like anatomy apps and all that sort of shit, so quite often I'd be reading up about origins and insertions of nerves and of sort of muscles, and nerve root innervation and action and all of that sort of shit. Fascinating shit. But it was fascinating. And I'm not doing that. There's a distinct difference in what my head is occupied with. And sometimes it's just occupied with just spinning, I think. So it's weird having all the same influences around me, the same cat. Not the same telly, but the same fucking TV series, Black Mirror. A different guitar, but still a guitar. But a very different, and a phone, and I got a tablet. It's whatever I got conned into buying by Vodafone, basically. For a very cheap amount of £2 something a week, you can have a free tablet. And it's like, when you figure out how much you actually end up paying, it's about 170 quid, and I bet that's what the tablet costs over the 2 years. So I've bought myself another tablet. But yeah, that was like a source of all sorts of information. My head would run away, and and then I'd be like focused and actually really enjoying what I was watching. Whereas I was starting to get to the stage that I was used to in films, like when there's a farce and they sort of almost get it but not quite. Like the little fella in Ice Age, you can't get the fucking acorn. That poor little fucker cannot catch a break, can he? Him. But those sorts of situations, and when it's in a film, you say, oh, for God's sake, just fucking get in there and shoot the fucking whatever and rescue the girl, or fucking stop the bomb from going off, or whatever, get on with it. And I was starting to get a little bit like that towards Black Mirror, and by the 4th episode that I'm on now, I just had totally zoned out and was just watching the picture again. But it's weird. Like I've been meaning to do it for ages. I wanted to feel like a normal human. I really did. It's been a thing of mine, because like you see so many people just like, just chilling then, and there's always a picture of Netflix that they put up, and they're just chilling. It's like, hey, look, everyone, I can normal too. But I can't binge watch, not like I used to. And like the old days, mate, nowhere fucking near. But it's a definite improvement. It's a definite improvement for, what is it, 4 hours or something. Getting on for three and a bit hours. Wow. And I did sort of zone in and out a little bit, but that's normal again, though, isn't it? That's a normal way of watching telly, to zone in and out a little bit and not be fucking like, I don't know. But I used to be sort of panicky. Like when I was watching Breaking Bad, I would watch it until like 3 in the morning, and then, even later sometimes, one more episode, just one more episode. And then I'd get up at like 10, feed the cats, have a shower, eat, and it would just be like, watch 3 episodes, have lunch, watch 3 episodes, do something else, watch 3 episodes, catch up on some messages. Literally, I did the whole 7 seasons in a week. And that's when it really is like a drug. So that's also gone through my head when I was actually starting to get into my Netflix and thinking, I don't want to switch out like just fucking confusion and social isolation for like robotic fucking entrancement of my brain by strange, colourful images on a flat box. I really am starting to sound like one of those fucked up weirdos, aren't I? I quite like it. And I also quite like how my hat, lots of people have talked about Jamiroquai, lots of people have mentioned Boy George. No fucker has mentioned Paddington Bear, like a pink version of him. And no fucker seems to mention that this actually looks a bit like a Christmas cake with a cherry on it, but it definitely looks like a cake. And I bet now every time you see me wearing this hat, you'll be thinking, it doesn't half look like he's got a cake stuck to his head, because that's what I keep thinking every time I look at it.